The world is full of stories we think we understand. Headlines flash across our screens, numbers rise and fall, people cheer or panic, but sometimes the truth hides in plain sight, in the quiet spaces between the chaos. This is the story of a scam so massive, so carefully orchestrated, that millions were affected before anyone realized it even existed. A billion-dollar deception, yet it left almost no fingerprints until now. It started like any other success story. Bright promises, sleek branding, and a vision that seemed almost too good to be true. People trusted it. Investors poured in money. Ordinary families, young professionals, even retirees placed their faith in what seemed like the future. And for a while it worked. Accounts grew, returns were delivered, confidence soared, it was perfect. And that's what made it so dangerous. But behind the polished presentations, behind the glowing testimonials and the endless social media hype, there was a pattern. Small inconsistencies, tiny cracks that few noticed, a spreadsheet that didn't quite add up, a promise repeated a little too often, a key player who vanished without explanation. And then slowly the cracks widened. We spoke to experts in finance and law enforcement, and what they told us was chilling. This wasn't just a scheme of greed, it was a masterclass in deception. The scammers understood human psychology better than most. They knew how to earn trust, how to make ordinary people feel extraordinary, how to turn fear of missing out into blind faith, and they executed it flawlessly. Families who invested life savings were blindsided. Entrepreneurs who saw it as an opportunity to grow their businesses were left scrambling. Even banks and regulatory agencies, usually trained to spot anomalies, were caught flat-footed. It seemed as if the scam existed in a parallel world, moving faster than anyone could follow. One victim told us, it wasn't about the money, it was about the hope it gave us, and then how quickly it was taken away. That hope, manipulated so skillfully, became the emotional engine of the scam. It wasn't just financial loss, it was trust stolen, dreams shattered, lives disrupted. As investigators began to piece the puzzle together, surprising truths emerged. Some of the masterminds were not the stereotypical criminals lurking in shadows. They were highly educated, articulate, even charismatic. People who could speak in boardrooms with authority, who could charm journalists and regulators alike. They blurred the lines between legitimacy and fraud, making it nearly impossible to tell who was a victim and who was a villain. And yet, there were moments of courage. Whistleblowers who risked everything to speak up, journalists who dug relentlessly, and ordinary people who refused to stay silent. Each revelation, each testimony peeled back another layer of the deception, showing just how fragile trust can be and how powerful the consequences are when it's broken. The fallout is still being measured. Legal cases, policy reforms, personal stories of loss and resilience. But the bigger lesson goes beyond the dollars. It's a reminder that in a world dominated by appearances, the truth is often hidden in the margins. That even the most sophisticated systems can fail when human emotions are exploited. That curiosity, vigilance, and empathy are our strongest defenses, not just against scams, but against the subtle ways in which our hopes can be used against us. And as we reflect on this billion-dollar scam, one question lingers. How many stories like this are still unfolding, quietly, in the shadows of everyday life, waiting for someone to see them? Maybe it's not just about watching the headlines, but noticing the quiet inconsistencies, the cracks in the perfect narrative, because sometimes the most important truths are the ones no one sees coming.